The rumors surrounding the GD010 and the GA010 have been confirmed. Leaked pictures that we talked about on the last episode of the G-Shock News on the JimKincaid.com YouTube channel were officially released from G-Shock, okay? And there are 4 new watches, 2 of them GA010s, 2 of them GD010s, all of them with negative LCDs, okay? But 2 of these watches have cloth bands. And in the last episode, I was like, these look like Cordura Bands. And in the episode, I noticed that there were 3 keepers, okay, which I was excited to see. And now, Casio.com/JP, JP meaning Japan, has officially released these GD010s and the GA010s. So now we can definitively talk about them. And from what I'm seeing, those keepers don't move. They don't all move up and down the watch band, which is great. Let me just grab some cloth watches that I have. I was unable to find my Cordura watch, but here in the box, I have a fabric one, the GAB 2100 CT5A. So this one, you guys remember this one, has a cotton band with the metal rivets in the holes. And look at the keepers. Well, actually, those of you watching on the podcast or listening on the podcast can't watch, but there are 2 keepers dangling on the buckle side of the band, and nothing's stopping them from sliding all the way up or all the way down the band. Okay, now I wear my watch. I'm a large wrister, so I wear my watch in such a way there's not very much of a tail. So if all of the keepers slide down towards the buckle, that's fine by me. If they slide up the watch, that's annoying to me because then what little tail there is of the band is sticking out, getting caught on stuff, generally annoying me. Now, small wristers, I don't know what their experience is like, but I would imagine that if the keepers slid all the way down towards the buckle, then you'd have a big, huge tail of that band flapping all around, annoying the heck out of you, right? Well, I thought, why do all of the keepers slide up and down? Why not have some fixed keepers? Well, the geniuses at Casio G-Shock thought of the same thing too. When you look at the Cordura fabric bands of the GA010 CE and the GA010 CE, you'll see that at least 2 of them look to be fixed into the fabric band, okay? And this is based on the stitches, okay? Let me zoom in for those of you watching. Count the metal keepers on the fabric band. 1, 2, 3, right? Bing, bang, boom. 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them. Now notice the stitching going around the perimeter of the band, okay? It starts from the watch and then stops short of the middle keeper, okay? That, to me, makes it seem like maybe that middle keeper is fixed, or maybe both of the keepers closest to the buckle are fixed in place, which would make the watch wearing experience better. Now, I love the Cordura fabric band. I wish I had it now. I have a GA 2100 CE somewhere. I can't find it. It's not in the box. You guys can look through the box and see it's not in here. It's somewhere. Maybe a kid took it. Kids of mine are often taking watches. But anyways, the Cordura fabric is terrific. It's very comfortable, and it doesn't get soggy like cotton, and it's pretty easy to clean. A lot of guys are asking me about its resilience to diesel. And as far as I can tell, it cleans up really well from diesel. However, I pretty much lost my sense of smell. I'm nose blind. I can't really smell that well. And I don't know if it's retained the diesel odors. My wife usually tells me if my watches stink like diesel, you know, when I put my arm around her or whatever, and my hand is near her face, she has a very keen sense of smell, and she'd be like, "Oh, your watch smells like diesel." Okay, so I have to find my Cordura band watch to wear it, and I'll give Denise a big hug, and we'll find out if it still smells like diesel. So stay tuned for that video. But right now, let's look at these 4 new watches, okay? Now, the GA010 is the analog of this new basic rugged watch that Casio released late last year in 2024. And so the GAs are anti-digi. They have a sub-dial that's digital that's pretty big, okay? And so these two new colors for the GA010, both of them have negative LCDs, okay? I know that not all of you guys are happy about that, right? Termit was griping about that in the comments of the last episode. And the thing is, I got to try it out, okay? In general, I do not like the negative LCDs on Casio G-Shock watches. Very hard to read. As my experience with the King, the GXW56BB bore out for me. However, these watches have very big LCD screens, which maybe even the negative screen is possible to read. I won't know unless I try it, okay? And so of the GD010s, of these new colors, one of them's brown, and I described it in the last episode as in one word. You guys remember what that one word was? Awesome. I think the brown color looks great. It's like a coyote brown color, a tactical color. The strap adapter is like a subtly different color of brown, and the band itself is that coyote color brown, which I like. It's great camouflage where I live, which is West Texas. All right. Now, one thing I have to say about the colors of this watch, and we'll go over this in a little bit, is that the green of the GA010 is off from the previous color green of the initial release of the GA010. If that sounds confusing, stay tuned. We'll explain it more. But first, let me get to coverage of these watches provided by gcentral.com. I'm going to read an article entitled G-Shock GA010CE-2A and GD010CE-5, 10-year battery watches with Cordura Recore Band. The GA010 and GD010 are newer G-Shock series with a practical back-to-basics approach featuring a large display, carbon core guard case, and an approximate 10-year battery life. Although the cloth bands of the newly unveiled blue GA010CE-2A and brown GD010CE-5 watches may initially resemble the organic true cotton bands of the GA B2100 CT and GMD S5600 CT models, they are made with the highly durable Cordura Recore fabric, which is recycled Cordura yarn and recycled PET yarn. The bands are also colored using natural food textile dyeing process, and the case and bezel are made with bio-based resin. The analog digital GA010CE-2A weighs 75 grams, and the full digital GD010CE-5 weighs 73 grams, which is 8 grams more than the respective full resin counterparts. While the brown of the GD010CE-5 matches the expected outdoor or military style of G-Shock, the blue GA010CE-2A is rather unusual in that it is very similar to Tiffany blue. Although Casio has used a similar color with many non-G-Shock watches, it is not a color we would normally expect to see in a more utility-based G-Shock series like the GA010, and it adds a fashionable streetwear twist to the series. Both models are currently available for pre-orders in Japan, where the GA010CE-2AJF has a tax-included price of 20,350 yen, and the GD010CE-5JF has a tax-included price of 17,050 yen. All right. And so that's the article. Let me jump in by saying that I was right. My suspicion that it was Cordura, because again, there's no rivets, and it kind of looked to me like Cordura, and I loved Cordura a lot. And, you know, I think the Cordura fabrics are terrific, as I explained. Now, Now, in terms of the color, G Central, the guy at G Central, he calls it blue. He says it's more like Tiffany blue. Now, this may be one of these things like the black and gold / black blue, or the white and gold / black and blue dress, or maybe like yellow Gatorade. Some people say yellow Gatorade is green, right? That's like an age-old argument. Like this color he calls blue, I call it green, all right? And it's like, maybe these pit vipers I'm wearing are affecting how I'm perceiving this color. Let me just take them off for a second. Look, that I don't see, like back in the 90s, all these new colors of green and blue came out, right? Like you had like fuchsia and aquamarine and aqua and taupe, all these crazy colors. And most guys, like if you're a real man, like any color was just like green, right? Or maybe blue. I don't know. Like you just did not distinguish among all these colors. But I mean, you know, maybe he's right. Maybe it is blue. Maybe it is blue. The more I look at it, the bluer it looks. But Tiffany blue, I don't think it's quite there to Tiffany blue, but it's like it's not a tactical color. Let me put it that way. The green of this new GA010 CE, definitely not a tactical color. It's more of a fashionable color, as he says. He is correct in that assessment. But the brown, definitely tactical color of the brown, and the brown color is for the full digital. So it's a full digital with a negative display. And again, I want to try this one out. Lord willing, I'll purchase this one. That's a plan, is to buy this one so I can see firsthand what is the negative LCD like on the GD010 series, and to see what the experience is like with the keepers, the tri-keepers of this Cordura fabric band, because huge fan of it, all right? And Great G-Shock World updated his information, and I think a lot is lost in the translation. Using Safari to translate his article, he says, all black is gray as the color. Okay. Maybe, yeah, something's lost there. He writes, and this is Great G-Shock blog, which is from Japan. He writes that the cross-band model adopts a band using Cordura yarn. The cross-band model adopts a band using Cordura yarn, which is also used as a material for business bags and day bags from famous brands due to its toughness, and also incorporates recycled plastic bottle material. Brown and blue colors that make you feel natural and outdoors and stand out. All right, so he calls it blue also. All right. Maybe some of you who have a keen eye for colors will call it fuchsia. Maybe like seafoam green. Right? We'll take a trip to the hardware store and get one of those like paint chips and hold it up to this watch to see exactly what the color is. Is it green? Is it blue? This may be the internet's next biggest controversy. Okay, but it is like the green / blue of this GA010 is not the same green as the initial green color GA010, which was a fan favorite. For example, I made a short video from Paramount Jewelers at the Music City Mall in Odessa leading up to Christmas, letting you gentlemen know there's a wide selection available there for your last minute Christmas gift giving. And Ian Stewart popped up to say that he loves the first one I pointed out, the GA010 light green. It's fire. He called it fire. And I told him he's dadgum right. Okay, that green isn't like an olive drab green. It's not specifically like a tactical green, but it's definitely green. And I think that it wears well, if you have kind of like a tactical color palette already. I think that a lot of guys love that green color, and I agree that it's a great color. And so that might be the option for you if you're thinking about the GA010 and you want that positive LCD and you like the green, go with that one. Okay. I got my brother a GA010 for Christmas. I got him the black one, and so far he's liked it. We'll catch up with him to see what he thinks. but I pulled up this green color. And so those of you watching can see that, take off the pit vipers for a sec so I can really take in the green color, but it's like what's that jewel that's like green? Garnet? It's like a green garnet color. Garnet might be red now that I think about it. But it's a richer actual green. There's no doubt that the GA010 of the green color, which is the GA010-2A, there's no doubt that that's green. And it's a very muted tone, very natural tone. It would fit in, with your hunting gear or whatever. And I think it looks really nice, but looking at the GA010-CE-2A, these guys are calling it blue. To me, it looks light green. It looks like a more feminine green. I'll just say that, okay? So you guys are going to have to let me know what you think in terms of this green color. But I do not plan on purchasing that green fabric of the Cordura. Like I said, I do plan on purchasing the brown one, Lord willing. And so if you go to the G-Shock Japanese website, they have already released the Fine Metal Series watches, which we talked about last time, all 4 of them. And they have the new GA010s and the new GD010s. And I don't know if I explained it well enough on the beginning of this video, but there's 4 new ones. 2 of them have the cloth bands, 2 of them have the resin bands, right? And so you got a murdered out GD010. Everything on it's black. The screen's black. And the band is resin. And then you have a GA010. Similar thing, all blacked out. And I think that the indices are a little bit more of a muted tone. The indices are not black. The indices are a light gray. So they do have a little bit more legibility than some of the murdered out analog watches that Casio made. But the subdial negative LCD. I know Termit's not going to be happy about that, but we have a whole ton of GA010s and a whole ton of GD010s to choose from now. I think 5 each, okay? And so I'm really happy about the series because it's like a back to basics for them, And, no Bluetooth nonsense. $100 for the digital, about $120 for the analog digital, or 18,150 yen for everybody watching from Japan. And so a lot to get excited about, right? And then an upcoming video I'm working on now, I ran a race. Yes, I ran a foot race. I ran like I ran in a race. And you'd be surprised about the results of the race. I was wearing the GBDH 2000, so that should give you a hint at how well I did, okay? At age 44, weighing, 273 pounds or whatever I did at that moment. But stay tuned for that video. I just have to edit it, all right? Gentlemen, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through him. I'm Jim Kincaid. Thanks for watching.